Let the challenges begin. Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Taskmaster tasks.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're looking at the best tasks from the Taskmaster series. From the hilarious to the ingenious.
Is everyone getting someone dressed up as their future self?
Number 10. Hide a pineapple on your person.
Oh, I want to eat it so bad. You're not allowed to eat it, are you? On your person, not in your person.
Let's start things off with a good laugh, shall we?
Very gritty.
In this particularly silly challenge, participants attempt to conceal an entire pineapple on their person by chopping or blending the fruit and hiding bags of it in their clothes, after they more or less all realise that eating the entire pineapple isn't really an option.
Surprisingly, a lot of moisture in these bits.
Watching 5 comedians strap chunks of fruit to themselves with cling film is brilliant, but the crowning jewels in the segment include the speed at which Doc Brown devours his fruit, as well as seeing Joe Wilkinson trying to walk out the room without losing any bits.
Speaking at the front then.
Number 9. Getting 3 exercise balls up a hill. Carrying 1 inflatable exercise ball is relatively easy. 2, you might struggle a bit, though it's definitely still manageable. But having to carry 3 at once to the top of a steep hill? That's a serious undertaking.
Oh, God.
While Richard Osman came out of this task victorious, the award for funniest performance, at least in our book, is a tie between John Richardson and Joe Wilkinson.
2 minutes, Joe. What? You've had 2 minutes.
Oh, shut up.
Tragedy strikes at the end though, as while John does manage to get all 3 of the enormous balls to the fabled yoga mat, he loses one and uselessly watches it roll all the way back down.
No!
Number 8. Throw a tea bag into a mug.
My God, the last batch of squares I've got, and then I'm going to have to start tying them up like a chump.
Frank Skinner shows us all how it's done in this Series 1 task, coming up with a few rather ingenious hacks and tricks to help him get a tea bag into a mug from the furthest distance.
The key, clearly, is that you want wet tea bags.
He may not have managed to seize victory from Tim Key, but he did come in worthy second place.
That's the first one in.
He's the first who actually manages to get a tea bag into a mug, and then eventually props up a large piece of cardboard so that all the tea bags he throws get directed straight into it. It's almost like he's done this before.
Some will take the first 45 minutes realising it's better if they're wet.
Number 7. Film something that will look impressive in reverse.
If I jump off a cliff, I'll jump onto the top of the cliff.
Is that what you're thinking?
No.
So I'm going to do something backwards.
An especially original task, this one threw up all sorts of unexpected ideas. Although, while any of the films being truly impressive is debatable, most of them are rather silly, Romesh manages to create one of the most distinctly bizarre minutes of footage you'll ever see.
Tree wizard! Hands together, he creates a balloon.
Filming himself jumping out of a tree and then bursting a bunch of balloons, Romesh then sings a song about being a tree wizard who creates balloons.
Tree wizard! Magical hands and holy shit, it's another balloon! Tree wizard!
What makes this video so memorable is just how hilariously unimpressive the end result was. But that song was pure comedy gold.
Do you know how long it took me to find that song?
Number 6. Create a video for a nursery rhyme.
I mean, what's your problem with fish, mate?
Not fish, mate.
Never one to let his musical talents go to waste, Doc Brown flexes his musical ability in this task by creating a remixed version of the childhood nursery rhyme, Once I Caught a Fish Alive.
Hashtag true story. Yeah, it goes 1, 2 to the 3, 4, 5.
Standing on a riverbank dressed as a fisherman, he adds a sometimes profane twist to the original lyrics and even gets his hand on an impressively sized fish.
Said 6, 7 to the 8, 9, 10. Then I let that little prick go again.
But it's when he shows off his blood-soaked, fish-bitten hand at the end that the stomachs of the studio audience are well and truly turned.
It bites! This little finger on my right
This earned him first place in the task, tying with Richardson's similarly dark approach to 3 blind mice. Number 5. Move the boulder.
Will you map it and just see how long it is?
There we go. 2 hours.
Yeah, no, I can't. Sorry, can I not have it canvas sands?
Next, the comedians are faced with an enormous fake boulder that they have an hour to move as far away from the starting location as possible.
Get this boulder as far from this place as possible.
You have 1 hour. Your time starts now.
Oh my God.
It's large, but apparently not too heavy. And since none of them seem to have any cars, hilarity naturally ensues.
At least get it started.
Ready? Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Josh is one of the most successful at transporting the rock, while Tim attempts to use helium balloons, but it's Roisin's last place attempt that proves the funniest.
How long will they be?
45 to 60 minutes.
Oh, right. You've got 32 minutes left.
She wastes most of her time by ringing around for a courier to come and collect the boulder and drive it to Camber Sands, then resorts to just rolling it away.
Oh dear, I've messed this up so bad.
Number 4. Write and perform a song for a stranger.
Oh, Rosalind's so sweet. Rosalind was a newsagent.
Split into 2 teams, our comics are introduced to a stranger called Rosalind and given only 5 minutes to question her and then 20 minutes to write a song and subsequently perform it.
So you're listening to the Mozart Symphony, but my attention span is, hey, look at that tree.
As you can imagine, getting a group of comedians to write a song in 20 minutes delivers some very funny results.
Rosalind, geriatric alley, she turns quite far.
Ultimately, while Sally, Aisling and Bob's Rosalind is a Nightmare song is arguably a bit funnier, it's Nish and Mark's which is much more impressive. Mainly because they have real instruments, even if one is a kid's drum kit.
I try my best, but it's never good enough.
Number 3. Most surprisingly expensive item.
I have bought in €100 because it is surprisingly expensive now to buy €100.
Everyone's been ripped off by something not worth the money at one point or another. But this task takes that to extremes as they're purposely sent out to get the most surprisingly expensive item.
It costs £25.
Shall I do my facial reaction to that?
OK, let's have a look.
While Sally Phillips' idea is to pay £10,000 to £15,000 to preserve one of Bob Mortimer's poos in resin, yes, really. It's Mark Watson's attempt to build a gate on a plot of communal land which really wins. Forced to pay £18,000 not just for the gate, but for the membership in a residents' association, Greg can't believe his ears. Number 2. Create an exotic sandwich.
And then I thought about how I could put a spin on that, so I thought maybe an exotic.
Exotic is a word which can have many different connotations, as Noel Fielding ultimately proves with his efforts here.
So I'll have to attach some bread to you and get you to do a tiny exotic dance.
Many of the contestants opt to try and make the weirdest sandwich they can possibly imagine, with Mel stacking a dozen layers of as many chocolate bars and sweets as she can find between the bread.
That to me is like a sort of Japanese pagoda.
But Noel has the idea to build an exotic dance sandwich, which involves him tying bread and filling to Alex with string and convincing Alex to do a striptease. Hands up if you saw that one coming. Number 1. Buy a gift for the Taskmaster.
So it could be buy the best present for the Taskmaster. As in, like, a Jeep. And then here's £20.
This task is unique in that it's been featured in every single series of the show. However, we're specifically looking at the first one, in which Josh Widdecombe sets a very high standard for all gifts to follow.
I thought you'd worry that I'd forget you after this, so I've got a tattoo.
They're given £20 and have 10 weeks to buy Greg the best gift, which seems simple enough, but it became immediately clear that Josh was going to win when he revealed a tattoo of Greg's name on his foot. It's no surprise he went on to be the champion of champions victor as well.
Anyone who permanently inks himself up surely has to win this task, Mr. Josh Widdecombe.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Watch Mojo UK and subscribe for more great content.